drunken sea captain finds a hooker to take out his lust, but makes a big mistake. Alexandra is not a prostitute. She's a virgin. What's even more devastating is that after just one intimate encounter, she becomes pregnant. Leonid feels so guilty and, to take responsibility, has no choice but to marry her. But even kissing such a beautiful wife doesn't make Leonid happy. The two of them don't love each other. It's simply a shotgun wedding. However, Leonid will become obsessed with Alexandra a few months later, dragging her into a chaotic relationship and danger. Alexandra was born into a wealthy family, but her parents died in a car accident on Christmas Eve. Seeing Alexandra as an orphan, her father's cultured friends, Mr. and Mrs. Petrovich, want to adopt her. But her aunt takes custody of Alexandra because she wants to steal her parents' inheritance. Auntie is a typical money-grubbing rural woman and treats Alexandra badly. However, Auntie's wealthy lifestyle is stopped by the police after only 2 days. Because Alexandra's parents' villa and all their possessions had already been mortgaged to the bank. When Alexandra is no longer useful to her, Auntie wants to abandon her in an orphanage. Thankfully, her honest uncle refuses to allow it. So Auntie reluctantly takes Alexandra back to the countryside. Despite the harsh conditions here, which are far worse than in the city, Alexandra does not give up her dream of painting. But her aunt doesn't support her in her impractical endeavors, forcing her to cook, chop wood, and do the cleaning. Fortunately, the neighbor's boy, Igor, helps her with some of the farm chores. As 7 years slip by, Alexandra has matured into a gentle and pretty woman. Igor has always been head over heels in love with her. One day, Auntie's brother, Valera, comes to visit the family. He offers to take Alexandra to an art school in the city and spends a lot of money to convince Auntie to let her go. Alexandra is so grateful to him that she willingly follows him out of the village. After all, learning to paint has always been her dream. She says goodbye to Igor with great joy. Poor Igor is powerless to hold her back and can only watch her figure fade into the distance. Unbeknownst to him, their paths would never cross again. After arriving in the city, Valera smokes and drinks all day long and doesn't take Alexandra to school to enroll. He brings Alexandra a sexy outfit, asking her to wear it to practice for the interview. But Alexandra's squirming in these beautiful instruments of torture is too hot for him. Oh my, he is a pimp. He tries to savor her virginity for his customers. As she fights back, Alexandra grabs a scissors and stabs him. Valera falls to the floor and convulses. Thinking she's killed someone, Alexandra runs away in fear. Unfortunately, it's like going out of the frying pan and into the fire. Alexandra mistakes the uniformed first officer Fifer for a cop, but Fifer mistakes her for a hooker, because she's coming from a pimp's territory. Naturally, Fifer brings her aboard to relieve the captain's depression. After 6 months at sea, the captain comes home to see his wife. To his shock, she's cheated on him and brought another man home. He angrily slaps her and divorces her. For the next few days, Leonid works on a cargo ship, paralyzing himself with alcohol. One night, a woman in a tight dress approaches him. Drunk, Leonid pushes her down on the bed as if she were an escort. After the passionate encounter, he comes to his senses and learns that she's not a sex worker. Leonid feels sorry for her, gives her money and leaves. Alexandra was terrified. Clad in the captain's uniform, she staggers off the ship. Finding the city too treacherous, she flees back to her aunt's countryside home. Worried about going to jail for murder, Alexandra keeps quiet about what she's been through in the city. For 3 months, she devotes herself to her farm work, trying to erase the damage she's suffered. Igor, who has a crush on her, is afraid she'll leave again. So he comes to her house with red roses and asks her to marry him. Alexandra refuses without hesitation, because she feels she's been impure and unworthy of him. Auntie thinks she's abnormal for refusing such a kind man. At lunch, Alexandra's swollen belly catches Auntie's attention. A gentle touch makes her realize that Alexandra is pregnant. Aunt flies into a rage, calling her impure and forcing her to reveal the father of the child. Afraid of being beaten, Alexandra takes out the captain's uniform to show that he is the father. Her uncle finds a note in the pocket with the captain's name written on it. He rushes to the port authority and demands an explanation from the director. Coincidentally, the director is Petrovich, a good friend of Alexandra's father. After some warm inquiries, Uncle turns to him for help, revealing that a captain named Leonid has knocked Alexandra up. Petrovich is heartbroken over Alexandra's situation. He declares that he will surely find the rapist and lock him up. He sends the marine police to seize Leonid's ship and take him to his office. Uncle asks him if he remembers a girl named Alexandra. Leonid shakes his head indifferently. This enrages the uncle. Although Uncle is henpecked, He dares to take on powerful people to stand up for his niece. The fight reminds Leonid of Alexandra, and he learns that she is carrying his child. He proposes to have a talk with her, so Uncle takes him to the countryside and finds Alexandra. Leonid apologizes to her, expressing his willingness to take responsibility and offer her some compensation. However, Alexandra refuses. She wants nothing to do with a man who hurt her. Auntie scolds her for her stupidity, for being a disgrace. Seeing her huddled up to avoid the punches, Leonid is overwhelmed with pity and wants to rescue her.
Выходите за меня замуж.
To escape her loathsome aunt, Alexandra agrees without hesitation. However, there is one condition for both of them, and that is that they do not interfere with each other's personal lives. Leonid would go out to earn money and never touch her again. Alexandra would only have to take care of the child in the big house. The next day, Alexandra changes into a wedding dress at the urging of her elders. In stark contrast, Leonid casually throws on a suit and comes to register the marriage, with no love between them. The ceremony is extremely awkward. Leonid puts on the ring for himself. When it comes to the kissing part, the moment Alexandra touches his lips, she can't wait to pull away. Igor is disappointed in her. He sees that she doesn't love Leonid and asks her why she's marrying a stranger. Alexandra helplessly explains that she's pregnant and can't change anything. Igor takes her hand and says he'll take her with him. Leonid stops him pestering her. Igor swings at Leonid, but is thrown into the water by inertia. After dealing with her elders, Leonid takes her to a hotel to rest. Due to a non-interference agreement, Leonid sleeps in a separate room from her. All sorts of troubles weigh on this newlywed couple with a 17-year age gap, making it difficult for them to fall asleep. Early the next morning, Leonid boards the ship with her, carrying the food and leather coats he has bought for her. He introduces her to the crew and explains to her the necessities of navigation. Alexandra doesn't look kindly upon Fifer, the one who brought her to the captain's room. Since there is no extra bed on the ship, the two of them have to sleep together. In the middle of the night, a storm hits and the ship rocks violently in the waves. Alexandra, suffering from seasickness, rushes out of the room. Leonid then puts a raincoat on her and guides her to stand in the corridor to adjust to her discomfort. Suddenly, a distress flare explodes in the night sky. It turns out that an injured man is trapped on the boat, almost swallowed by the waves. The crew members quickly lower a ladder and carry him onto the ship. After a series of medical treatments, the man's temperature rises and he regains consciousness. But Leonid is worried that the man is a fugitive, so he locks him in his room. He plans to hand him over to the police when they reach the shore. Having nothing to do, Alexandra applies to take care of that man. When the man's physical condition improves, he talks to Alexandra. He says that his village has been occupied by bad guys. His wife was murdered. His only son has been imprisoned. He was the only one who managed to escape by jumping into the sea. Now that he has recovered, he wants to save his son, so he begs Alexandra to set him free. Alexandra feels sympathetic towards him, but doesn't agree. After all, as a newcomer, how could she dare to defy the captain's order? However, the man pleads with her every day, stating that his son is in great danger. His fatherly love touches this young pregnant mother. Late at night, while everyone is asleep, Alexandra unlocks his door and releases him. As a token of his gratitude, the man gives Alexandra a white bead as a sign that he owes her a favor. The man then jumps into the ocean and swims away, but her act of kindness infuriates Leonid. He warns her not to cause trouble. Not everyone is as kind as she thinks. Alexandra argues with him and makes it clear that she won't meddle in his affairs anymore. One trouble follows another. The next day, a cabin catches fire. The crew rushes in with fire extinguishers to put it out. Thankfully, the fire is not large and is quickly extinguished. Unexpectedly, another fire breaks out in the stern. The others run away to put out it, while Fifer enters the cabin to check the damage. And then, terrifyingly, the fire starts again. Fifer struggles to wave his coat, trying to fan it out. Although he succeeds, he passes out from inhaling so much smoke. His coughing attracts Alexandra's attention. She gives him first aid immediately, calling out for help, which saves his life. The sailors praise Alexandra and call her a lucky star. When Fifer comes to his senses, he thanks her and apologizes. He explains that he misunderstood who she was and that he didn't mean to trick her into coming aboard. Alexandra forgives him. But Leonid loses his temper with her. He blames Alexandra for going into the fire alone. It was dangerous. Alexandra thinks he cares about her, but he says he's only concerned about the baby inside her. Oh, you mule-headed man, why can't you just admit you care? 3 days later, the freighter finally docks. Leonid's cheating ex-wife, Masha, comes running to greet him. She wants Leonid to remarry her. Leonid finds this ridiculous and states that he's already married to Alexandra. His brother pulls Alexandra away. leaving them to talk. Masha is furious and says she just made a small mistake. So what's not to forgive? Leonid ignores her and leaves. Salman, Leonid's younger brother, is quickly smitten by Alexandra's beauty. He drives Alexandra to their luxurious villa. Just as they are celebrating Leonid's return, Masha walks in. It turns out she'd sent her mother to the villa earlier to convince the housekeeper to take her back. Her mother asked the housekeeper to convince Leonid to forgive Masha. The housekeeper said she couldn't interfere with Leonid's marriage. Salman brings out a bottle of wine for everyone. Alexandra says she's pregnant and can't drink. Masha is instantly consumed by jealousy. She lies that her mom is not feeling well, asks for a blood pressure monitor, and takes the opportunity to stay at their house. She then drags her mom to her room and pretends to take her blood pressure. Ever since her divorce from Leonid, Masha has been mired in a financial crisis. She is insatiable and spends extravagantly. The men she plays with can't afford to pay her bills. That's why she wants to remarry the wealthy captain. Masha stays for their dinner on the pretext that her mother is too ill to cook. After the dinner, Masha approaches Leonid and apologizes. She says she's still in love with him. Leonid flirtatiously holds her face and says he'll never forget that she cuckolded him. However, this rejection is not likely to deter a greedy gold digger. Masha asks Leonid's brother out on a date and hooks up with him. The next day, Leonid confesses to his brother that he and Alexandra have no feelings for each other. He will not interfere with Alexandra's life and will return to the ship soon, leaving her on land. So he asks his brother to take care of Alexandra for him. Salman takes Alexandra to the hospital for a maternity checkup. The doctor thinks Salman is her husband and accuses him of being irresponsible. She's 4 months pregnant and she's never been to a gynecologist. Thankfully, the baby is healthy. On the way home, they pass an art store. Alexandra wants to buy some watercolors, but when she pays, she realizes she doesn't have any money. Salman swipes his card and pays for her. He says they're his birthday present to Alexandra. Just during the prenatal check-up, he learned from her medical record that tomorrow is her birthday. When he gets home, Salman points out that Leonid is an unqualified husband. He hadn't given Alexandra a penny and had never taken her for a checkup. This makes Leonid start to reflect. Salman suggests that they can hold a birthday party for Alexandra at his restaurant. Even if he doesn't love her, he should show her some respect and care. Leonid readily agrees and immediately starts making arrangements for the party. In the middle of the night, Masha comes to Salman's apartment to find out more about Leonid and his wife. Salman lies that he doesn't know much. Masha threatens him, "If you don't tell me, I'll tell Leonid that you slept with me." Salman panics and tells Alexandra that Leonid is going to celebrate her birthday. Early the next morning, Alexandra starts dressing for the party. But the wardrobe options are a total letdown, way too plain to do justice to her stunning looks. The housekeeper dresses her in a long dress that used to be Leonid's mother's. The country girl instantly transforms into an old money socialite. Leonid is captivated by her.
Красиво.
Accompanied by her husband, Alexandra greets his friends and receives their best wishes. Unbeknownst to her, her uncle is outside the villa looking for her. It turns out that the pimp is still alive and was saved by one of his men. He was furious and vowed to catch Alexandra and punish her. He snuck over to his sister's house and learned that Alexandra had married the captain and moved out of state. He warned her not to tell anyone of his whereabouts. But Uncle, who was hiding outside the door, heard all this. He complained that his wife shouldn't have told him about Alexandra's whereabouts. He's a gangster and could bring disaster to Alexandra. Uncle went to the harbor to see Leonid to warn him about the pimp. But the seaman said Leonid had gone home. So he went to Leonid's villa, only to find the door locked and no one home. At the party, Alexandra dances merrily with everyone's encouragement. Masha shows up uninvited and gives her a baby carriage as a birthday gift, which causes an awkward moment. Salman quickly steps in to ease the situation. Leonid has a surprise for Alexandra. He has invited Mr. Petrovich and Mrs. Petrovich to her birthday party, which makes Alexandra very happy. Then he gives her a cell phone. This is a novelty for Alexandra, who grew up in the countryside with little access to electronics. She hugs Leonid happily, just like a delighted child. Just as she is immersed in dancing with Leonid, the pimp shows up, shattering the tranquility of Alexandra's life. This is Maroon Recap. Check out my homepage and you'll see more recaps of Capitancia. I'm hastening to write and edit the next part, so feel free to leave a comment and share your thoughts. Please don't forget to like and subscribe to our channel.